Boyfriend spotted on Coffee Meets Bagel. Cheater? ? My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We just started a long-distance relationship a month ago. Last week, a friend of mine found him on the Discover page on Coffee Meets Bagel. The profile pictures are all old pictures, and this could be his old account. So I wondered, does showing on the Discover page mean he has been actively using the app, or can you be on the Discover page even though you haven't used the app in years? Thanks.
Well, I've never used that app before.
Yeah, it's like a Hinge-y kind of vibe. It's Bumble-y dating app vibes.
It actually is?
Yeah, it's a dating app.
Oh, God. I thought back in New York I was on every app there was, but I guess I wasn't on that.
Well, this one, what did we find out? It's in San Fran?
Yeah, it's San Francisco-based dating app. I don't know how I feel about that.
I had a college roommate, and her boyfriend was always pulling up on Tinder.
Ooh.
Always. And so many people would send her his like profile and be like, hi, like,
Oh, gosh.
we see so-and-so on here. And like everyone knew. And it was just like such a bad setup for for her. Like
obviously currently using.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like active. Like I thought Tinder used to show like active within whatever, or like recently active or something back in the day. Like
True.
This is when I was in college. This was 2013. So.
And most apps I feel like do that now.
I thought so.
Say like active now or recently, something like that. That app is interesting, new to me. I don't really know much about that, but whenever you like get into a relationship or something, do you tend to like, forget like, whatever, I'm happy? Or do you like go back to your apps and everything that you're on and be like, I actually have these accounts. I should probably get rid of them so people don't think of anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if some people like that just goes over their head, or I don't really know.
But 3 years, like they have been together 3 years.
Yeah, that's the time.
Like you gotta look at the apps on your phone.
I mean, that's way too long. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
You've probably gotten a new phone since then. I mean, when we hit.
True.
I don't even know. Were we together a month?
We weren't
2 months?
We definitely weren't official.
Well, there was a point where Morgan and I, we both pulled out our Hinge and we went to the thing where you actually delete your account, and it sends this like, it was a really cool message
cute.
Actually. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
it was
like,
really cute.
we're so happy to see you go because it means you found, right?
Right.
And
right.
so I think there was just, it naturally kind of happened where we happened to do it around the same time.
Yeah.
And I think I sent you the screenshot of that message because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But I think there's a point where you hit that you're like, I'm going to delete this app because A, it's weird to have the app on your phone still, right?
Yes.
For sure.
B, sure, maybe you haven't touched it in a long time and you haven't updated pictures, but it's still kind of there, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a reason we both had the thought to delete it, but I can also see how some people would just be like, oh, I found it and I have a million apps on my phone. I haven't opened it, but it's still there. And I guess technically you'd still show up on the Discover. I don't know how this app works.
I'm not sure. So I have one more from, this one is actually from a listener, and same problem. So she goes, my boyfriend and I, both age 22, have been together for a little over 3 years. About 2 weeks ago, I was feeling anxious about our relationship, which I have never felt before. A couple of days ago, I was over at his place and he was napping when I had this gut feeling to peek at his phone. I've never done that before, so that itself was a bad, sneaky experience. Anyways, as I was scrolling, I saw the dating apps, Bumble and HUD. HUD? I don't know.
I don't know about
We
that
both
one.
look.
Yeah, I don't
We're
I
like,
don't know about that
Alex,
one.
you're young in the dating game. Like, what is this one?
I don't even know about that
What,
one.
we got all the apps?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
You gotta have all the apps.
I have some, but I don't know about these. These are new to me.
HUD, yeah.
New to me.
I opened them up and saw that he partially created profiles. I didn't see any messages or anything. I immediately just closed out of the phone. Later that day, I brought it up and he said he hit a low point and thought our relationship was not doing good. So he downloaded the apps, made the profiles, but then realized it was a mistake. He said he never actively used the apps for talking to anyone and never reopened the apps after the first time since downloading them. He says he regrets it and wish he'd talked to me when he had the initial feeling instead of doing what he did. I have not had any doubts in our relationship other than this. I was very secure, happy, and in love. Now I'm just sad, very sad. I'm not sure if this is grounds for breaking up. I really need advice on what to do.
Yeah, that's tough. I feel like if I was in the position, well, first of all, I'm kind of against the whole like looking through people's phones kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also she said she has a gut feeling. Always trust your gut and explore that. But it's kind of it's better than the other situation because he actually like owned up and kind of like admitted to it. And like what I was thinking when you were reading that to me is he should have gone to her and been like, hey, I'm feeling really weird about our relationship. I want to talk to you about it, and gone about it that way. And I like that he owned up to it. But that other situation, just seeing that app, maybe just, I don't know, I feel like asking, but also like you never know what the truth is. It's kind of like this one, I get it. I feel like you can move forward and, you know, regain that trust sort of. I don't know if that's like breaking up level.
Yeah.
If there were messages with girls, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But there was no contact, no reaching out to any girls basically. So I feel like you can rebuild the trust and figure that out. But the other situations, I feel like a little bit different.
Especially after 3 years, like, but this one, they've been dating for over 3 years too.
I have two thoughts.
Okay.
First one being, I can understand, I guess, a little bit just from the past of reaching a point in a relationship where you're kind of used to being together, you're used to being in a relationship, and maybe you're at an age where a lot of your friends aren't. And so the issue kind of comes about when you're starting to have doubts and feelings about this relationship that you're not bringing up. Like you're not having a conversation about it because you have the other person sitting there just like fully trusting, fully in it, and they're doing the thing.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of falling off this thing where I think that takes a lot of relationships down when you could talk to each other and maybe work through things or maybe decide it doesn't work. But the problem is you go to the apps and now you've definitely drawn a line. Like you've made an action that now is not thought, but it's actually physically action.
Yeah.
And yes, I get the excitement and the feeling of swiping through on apps and how that can feel exciting even though you've been together for 3 years or whatever. And if you're having those doubts, sure. But it's just the fact that if you're having those doubts, I think that's the time to address it, not to go figure out. That's what's scary about this.
Yeah.
That's what's scary about a relationship. You get into such a vulnerable state to where you're not going to know 100% of everything.
No.
You can't. If you did, you're having some kind of fucked up, controlling, manipulative, weird relationship.
Right.
There's always that element of trust of stuff that you're not going to know, you're not going to see. So yes, your partner 100% could be doing whatever. I mean, they could be going to someone's house. They could be texting someone, deleting it. They could be calling people and deleting it. There's a million different things that could happen, and that's part of the vulnerability of the situation and what's scary. But in this instance, if I ever had those feelings, I don't think I'd jump right to an app. I think I would probably start talking to you.
Yeah.
But it's tough. I don't know.
I think that's like why I'm like, I appreciate the fact he did come clean, but also he
had no choice.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Who knows if he would have said things like, when you're caught, you're caught.
I know,
Right.
but granted, I'm glad he didn't lie, but he also could have been like, oh, I've had that since, whatever. I haven't deleted it because the profile wasn't whatever. But I look at it, I'm like, okay, you downloaded it and then you got to the profile making stage and then you realized it was a mistake. But why didn't you then at that point delete it? Why are both of those apps still on your phone?
He's
Right.
probably just swiping here and there.
I don't know. That is like the part for me. And I also like kind of with what you were saying, I really don't get when people are like, oh, our relationship wasn't doing that well. Oh, I don't understand why a lot of people's first jump is to seek reassurance or seek out another person. Like seek out reassurance from another person, like validate themselves. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm still hot. Like, blah, blah, I'm desirable. It's like, you're with this person for 3 years and you can't just
Say something.
Say anything. Hey, I'm not feeling we're connecting lately.
Exactly. And I think there's a point to, if you have some space, even if it's a week, you can quickly start to realize, here's what I have, and I know what I have, and I know what I can lose. Versus when you're seeing someone every single day and you kind of start getting these thoughts, you won't have that perspective.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Different levels of maturity, honestly, it depends
For
on the
sure.
situation. But if you're together for that long, you should know each other by then and feel comfortable enough to be like, okay, if I'm not really feeling right, I should say something. Yeah, he was caught. That's one thing too.
Yeah.
Being caught, it's a different story than, sitting her down and being like, hey, like, I really want to talk to you about something that I did. It was really stupid. I didn't know how to go about this. My weird feelings. I just didn't know how to act with my feelings. But the fact that he was caught, that's a completely different story.
And
Yeah.
that's exactly why his response is what it is.
Right.
His response may be 100% true,
Yeah.
but it's exactly what everyone would say in that situation.
Right.
Oh, I had doubts and I was doing this for a little bit. And then I realized that I was wrong and that we are perfect together. Perfect. We've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
So what's actually going on? We may never know.
We may never know.
Right.
As far as advice for this listener, I think you just gotta like trust your gut. I've given people second chances and it hasn't worked out. And then there's some people that it has. And I think you just gotta really trust your gut. And you guys are 22. You're kind of at a formative age in your life. You're still really growing and
For sure.
lots of,
I miss 22.
take me back.
Yeah.
Take me back. But it's tough. You really just got to trust your gut. And I mean, if you give them another chance, then if it happens again, then you know. Like
True.
Right.
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
I mean, I think after 3 years, depending on what your gut feeling is, but I think after 3 years, to me, it sounds like it. See if that expected answer, as I called it, see if that expected answer plays true, and just feel it out. I mean, your radar is going to be up now.
Yeah.
And so I think you can kind
Which
of
is hard.
It is, but
To get that trust back.
I know, but yeah.
And if you can't get it back, then there's your answer. Because
Right.
according to John Gottman, a relationship is nothing without trust.
But that just sucks. Like, I mean, I feel like, at least I know I have, but I feel like we all have had that thing where something happens, and how do you come back from that?
a lot of work.
How do you come back from
Right.
that, seeing something that you weren't supposed to see, or something that is like, oh fuck, maybe I don't know this person as well as I thought I did.
It's annoying how much those little things can really do so much.
Because then it's on the front of
Yeah.
your mind. Like
Yeah.
any sketchy thing then from there on
Right.
that maybe wasn't even sketchy to begin with. It's like, oh, where were you tonight? Oh, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. And everything
Right.
starts to sound sketchy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.